First, I just want to thank the Birmingham region and all the people that poured into this regional site. Everybody felt welcome, from our hotel to just walking around the street to being in this arena. Really felt welcoming to our game. And then just congratulate Duke on a great season and a hell of a basketball game. It's unfortunate that one of us had to win and one of us had to lose, but it wasn't from working super hard trying to get it done.
Okay, we'll take questions for the players. We'll begin right here.
Cameron T with The Athletic. Chloe, this is for you. I saw you after the game walking around talking to all the South Carolina fans. I think you were hugging, taking pictures with even some of the kids who were in the stands. Between embracing that moment and, in the fourth quarter, you had 8 of your 14, and you had 4 free throws. Just kind of put into words what it's like embracing this moment on the court and also with the fans there as well.
Fan-wise, the fans mean so much to me. Those little girls and little boys, they look up to us, and just watching Coach throughout my years here go and really try and say hi and take a picture with everyone, it made me feel like I need to actually do that more. So I feel like that's why I've been doing that more. And then the points, I just made my free throws when it mattered, and then made a few layups, but the free throws were, scary, but yeah.
Go to the front left.
David Cloninger, Post and Courier. Bree, you had the charge, and then you caught the air ball for the three-pointer of their last shot. Most nerve-wracking 20 or so seconds of your life or career?
I'd definitely say, yeah. It was great because when I got that charge, our coach, Coach Mary, came up to me and she was like, it's okay, it's all right, you have to get the defensive stop. And I was like, okay, let me just turn the page as quick as possible because I was about to have a meltdown, I ain't gonna lie. But, I just flipped the page and I was ready to catch that rebound.
Grab the head. And did.
To the right.
I didn't turn the page.
Lulu Kesson, the Greenville News. Sanaya, for you, after Chloe hit those 2 free throws to make it a 4-point game, everyone was kind of starting to smile, and I heard you say, it's not over, it's not over. Could you talk about your desire to lock in and focus and lead in the final 2 minutes especially?
Well, I just stayed disciplined. I followed the game plan. I was getting screamed at a lot, so I just tried to stay disciplined with it. We used to being up, but we wasn't up that much. And when Chloe did make her free throws, I just was like, don't get too high with the highs, too low with the lows, and realize that it's 5 seconds left. It's a lot of time on the clock, and just to stay ready for any and everything.
To the left.
Hey, y'all. Kareem Copeland, Washington Post. Bree, going into that fourth quarter, you guys were, down 4. What was the conversation that you guys had amongst yourselves before you guys went out there and you immediately, I think it was an 8-0 run to grab the lead again. But what was the conversation going into that moment?
It was a really calm environment. We, at halftime, just kind of came together, talked about different things that we saw out there that we felt like we needed to do different. We did have, at one point it was 2-10, and then they just kept coming back. And I feel like we just kind of felt like we needed to change a few things. I'm not going to say, of course. But I just felt like we had to change a few things, and I feel like it was just our calm energy that helped a lot. I feel like Coach is always calm with us and telling us what we need to do, and I think we did a good job executing.
Front left.
Sanaya and Bree, along with Raven, it's 4 Final Fours in 4 years. When you signed 4 years ago, I'm sure you wanted that, but did you think that it would come out this way?
Yes, I did.
I didn't think it would be this good. I'm not going to lie. This is something a person would dream of, so, yeah.
I did because all they do is win here, so.
Period.
Far right.
Cameron J. Athletic. Chloe, I wanted to follow up with something you said. You were talking about your free throws. I'm curious, just you go to line up 2 and you have to hit both those. What's going through your head? Where were your nerves at?
Well, Coach drew up a play, and then she said the ball is going to get to me. So I walked out there, and I was like, Pow, can you get the ball? Can you get the ball? And Pow was like, girl, what? And go get the ball. So then I got the ball, and then I went to the line, and I was just taking a deep breath. And then I told myself that my coach wanted me to have the ball at the end of the game because she knows I can make my free throws. And I told myself that I'm really good at basketball. And I made both of them.
Yes, God.
I was at the 3-point line screaming. I'm like, "You're unshakable. You're unshakable. You got this."
Yeah, before she shot, I'm like, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
To know your staff, the coaching staff trust you in that moment. I mean, what does that feel like for you? I know you've been here for 3 years now, but just knowing that moment they trusted you to put the game away there.
I mean, it feels amazing because I feel like I just worked so hard, and my process is different. Everyone's process is different, and I'm just so blessed that I'm able to be in that position at the end of the game to go to the Final Four.
Front left.
If all of y'all could touch on this, how big was Powell, especially heating up late in the third quarter when it seemed like it was really working so hard to get a shot, and then she hit those 2 jumpers and kind of kept going in the fourth?
She was really big. I mean, I told her every time I passed it to her, I said, don't be afraid to shoot that mid-range. Like, they send it 2 to you or send 2 to me. Shoot that mid-range because it's quicker. You got a quick release. She was big, real big.
Very big.
Yeah, that was much needed, and we're happy that she made those shots for us. That also kind of calmed us down.
Yes.
Far right.
Sorry, Chloe, just 2 quick follow-ups for you. One, I saw Fagan kind of look at you and tell you to take that deep breath. What has her leadership been like, especially today? And 2, it's pretty obvious to see where your dad is standing during the games, and he seems to look at you. I can't tell if you avoid eye contact with him just before those free throws, especially. What do you think was going through his head, and did you look at him?
I do avoid him a lot during the game, but I've been actually starting to look at him more because he'd just be saying the right stuff at the right time. I didn't look at him before the free throws because I was scared. But Sanaya, I mean, her leadership means so much. I mean, she's such a big vocal voice out there, and I'm just so proud of how she played today and how she's been playing. And yeah.
Any more questions? Okay, ladies, you're dismissed.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we'll start in the front.
Dawn, it seemed like Duke's game plan was to junk it up on defense, try to keep the score low. Just how effective were they at doing that, and how difficult was it to try to solve that?
I think they were very effective. I thought that I thought they forced us into taking some bad shots that almost ended our season, really. Especially in the first half, and then the second half, I thought we tried to get the ball where it needed to go. Sometimes it disrupted that, but you know, at the end of the day, I thought when we had to make plays off of broken sets, we did it in the fourth quarter. And I think that was the difference between them coming back and building the lead and us bearing down and making sure we win those broken play battles.
Al to the left.
Hey, Don, Doug Farmer, DAP. Quick one. Have you signed a babies behind before? And the second one is
Have I what?
Signed a babies behind before? You signed a babies
Oh,
behind today?
no, that was a first. And my hand was shaking.
And the second one, just you guys wanted, it seems a different style with just a grinded out, tough defensive effort by you and made the plays in the end. How much could that help you going to Tampa this week, that type of win versus a more offensively aesthetic, pleasing type?
Well, considering I think we played the Texas or TCU, right? You know, if it's Texas, we're gonna muck it up just like we do in the, you know, in the Southeastern Conference. If it's TCU, much the same because they can score a lot of points. I just hope that we can get our offense going a little bit. We can't seem to play a little bit more fluidly. I thought we played with a lot better pace than we did on Friday. So, I mean, the pace will help some. But, you know, when you have two teams that really defend, it's going to look like that. So I thought both of us accomplished what we needed to accomplish while trying to get a win.
Right, Al.
The AP, going off of what Sanaya was saying about after Chloe hit those free throws, she was telling them, like, it's not over. Having your players kind of take that accountability and leadership and pull the best out of each other during a game that wasn't easy. How important was that, and how big will that be going forward?
I mean, super important. You're hearing from young people who have dealt with things in real time. So I'm not surprised, but I'm proud because they have great self-talk. They have great talk amongst each other. They want each other to do well. They want to win. So it's all communication that's helpful in those moments. Now, we're probably communicating something else, and they're balancing us with that kind of talk, especially out of a timeout. They'll walk on the floor, and they're just talking to each other through what needs to happen. That is a team and players that have played with each other a long time, and the teams and players that have done life skill sessions together, team that's done, the practices and the breakdown. Like I've got the best video coordinator ever. Real time, they want to see where they made a mistake in practice, and we'll walk over and we'll look at it and we'll say, hey, and then they'll say, hey, I was out of place, I was wrong, or looks like I was right this time. So it's great that we can have those things, impact actually real time, game time, and we're in those situations.
To your left.
Abby Helpin, USA Today. Coach, I want to ask you about something that happened off the court. Right after the game, before the trophy presentation, you went up to the Carolina basketball band and you shook hands with Dr. Wright and some of the students. What's your relationship like with the band, and why was it so important for you to go up to them afterwards?
I think it's customary for us to do. That's one. Two, I just think that, the bands don't probably get enough credit that they deserve. They are at all the sporting events. They are, injecting energy. When they're playing their songs, no matter what we're doing, no matter how locked in we are, it just feels familiar. So when they're able to, give us some familiar, you can lock into what needs to happen out there on the floor. And, I really enjoy them. They've been with us, some of them have been here, over the past 4 years, are going to their fourth Final Four. So I just want them to feel a part of it because they really are a part of the atmosphere that's created in the gym.
To your left.
Hey, Don, Kareem Copeland, Washington Post. Same thing I was asking Bree, what was that message going into the fourth quarter after a rough third, and what does it say about them that they not only responded, but immediately responded right at the beginning?
Yeah, the message was basically we got to operate. One was the offensive rebounds were killing us, okay? Okay, two, we have to operate in broken plays, right? Because they blew up some of our sets, and then when they blow them up, we have to stay calm, and we have to get a shot at the basket to actually give us an opportunity to make a basket or offensive rebound. But it was just about runs. It was their run. And we just talked about going on one of our runs.
Far left.
Don, you said Friday that at least on that day you didn't look, I think, like a national championship team. How do you feel now after that game?
You went for that? Look, at this point, it's not going to look pretty. Okay, it's not. There are stretches in each game that is not going to look pretty. If you watch all the games, maybe the score at the end of a UConn game is not indicative of how it looked in the first two quarters. So some of it's not going to look as smoothly as us coaches and players envision or how we practice. But you certainly have to get down and play the kind of game that's presented in front of you, and we'll do that. If we're not scoring a whole lot of points, then we got to up our defense. If we're scoring a whole lot of points, we got to up our defense. So it is that type of year that, for us, it's not any blowouts. We have to grind for every single win that we can get and manufacture.
Far right.
Don, two questions for you. One on Chloe talking about being scared to walk up and take those free throws. I'm curious your thoughts on her growth in this program and what it says about her ability to kind of push through that and nail those free throws. And then two, for you personally, you talk about Birmingham and how much people have really embraced really the whole regional. I'm curious, as someone who's such a figure in this sport, if you've given yourself time over the season to really kind of look at the sport and see just where it's grown and how much it's grown.
As far as Chloe, I am super proud of Chloe. Like, Chloe came to us. She skipped her high school year and came to us halfway through the school year. Probably thought it was the worst decision that she made when she was going through it. But then the following year, she was a lot better. But her maturation process from everything, like, she's grown in every aspect of her life, mentally, physically, emotionally. Like, you know, we have grown-up conversations, and I can't believe it sometimes because how she came in. You know, now she's really thought-provoking. Like, she is really asking all the right things. And what I really like about Chloe is, you know, whether she makes you laugh with something that she says, or, you know, or she says something just off the wall, it's her. And she's comfortable in her skin. Like, that's what I want for our players, to get to know who they are, don't care about what anybody else thinks of them, and just continue to move on. But she's growing, right? And then, you know, our game is so good. Like, I feel like everywhere I go, I feel the love. And, like, everywhere. Like, it's incredible how much people recognize, you know, a figure like myself in women's basketball. Like, I mean, I could walk our campus, and students are coming up to me saying, my dad loves you, my mom loves you, right? We're here in Birmingham. You know, walk through our hotel, you know, you walk around. They weren't all Gamecock fams. You know, they were people who are part of this community, you know, wanting pictures and wanting autographs and just showing their appreciation. Like, it's an honor to give it back to them. Like, it truly is an honor. It's a necessity, and it's something that we have to do, but, you know, the love is felt.
Very back.
Cora Hall for the USA Today Network. Don, Sanaya has been, you know, so crucial for you guys this postseason. You went with the seniors and Chloe in that fourth quarter. How would you describe the trust that you have in, you know, Sanaya, and you know, what's it like to see her become that player that you trust to, you know, help get the team across the line to make the Final Four?
I mean, Fagan's been a part of our program for 4 years now. Like, her growth, her maturation process has just been on an upward trajectory. You know, I've always said she was the most talented big. Like, you know, whatever big that was on our roster, she was the most talented as far as being able to make moves and understand the game and communicate the game. To see her just out there performing like a senior, that's what you want. I wanted her there a lot sooner than this year, but, you know, people's process are their process. You know, we try to fast track it, but some of them just have to go through it. And once they've gone through it, you know, it's not very much communication that's needed. They just go out there and do it. So, very happy. We got to lean on her for, you know, hopefully 2 more games, and they'll you know, that entire class will leave here as the most decorated if they can get another championship.
To the front, right, left.
Joyce hasn't had a great 3-game stretch. Just what's the mentality there? How do you kind of treat that going into this Final Four? 'Cause, I mean, she is your lead scorer, but these she seems to have kind of struggled.
Yeah, I mean, teams are scheming. Like, it's I mean, it's a gift and a curse that, you know, you're our leading scorer. So people are gonna, you know, zero in on that and scheme to cut her production in half. And because of that, you see there's a short gap between us winning and losing basketball games. Just got to talk her through things. Don't overcomplicate things. We're just trying to simplify, just really simplify things for her. But things are coming fast at her, so it's hard. I mean, you know, I know she wants to play well. I know she wants to help our basketball team. But sometimes, you know, in situations like this, I mean, you've helped us all season long. all season long. And it's okay to allow some other players to help in those situations, but hopefully, we have a week of practice where we can get back and simplify, and hopefully we can show her some film where she can be effective, but we need her. If we're going to win a national championship, we need better production from Joyce.
We'll go here, and then we'll conclude with a question on Zoom.
Hey, Coach, just when you look back on this team, I know the job's not finished, but when you look back on this team specifically, at the end from the end of the regular season to now, just what intangibles do you think you'll remember, and what are those intangibles that you think help them get through games like they did today?
I mean, I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but we've handled things in real time. Like, I really don't think I've had a team that has been able to communicate as early. Like, when we see something, we act, like a look, sound, feel. Like, they will say what's happening, and you can deal with it in that moment. They don't wait until a week later. Like, they really want to win. They really want to be the best that they can be, and they're unafraid to be vulnerable and discuss shortcomings. They just want to know, how I can hurdle that and what I need to do to get through that moment. And we can be us as coaches. We can just, okay, she wants this. She really wants this. Like, let's talk about it. So that's been pretty cool that this team is able to give in to real talk. And I think that's what gets us over the hump. Like, they just talked about what their process is in stressful situations, and they talk their way through them, and they help each other out, and then we execute. Because Chloe missed back-to-back free throws, which is something that that she doesn't normally do. So we went back to her. She finished it. Now she's a lot more confident than she was after she missed those 2 free throws.
Okay, we'll go to Jonathan on Zoom.
Jonathan Dalmas from Light on College Sports. Coach Staley, the landscape of college athletics is constantly changing with the transfer portal and NIL. Can you talk about how you've been able to adjust and adapt to have your team make it to 5 straight Final Fours in this climate?
We've done it with great communication. We've done it with great parents. We've done it with a roster full of players that you can real talk to. Like, I don't think we're paying the most in the NIL space, but I don't even know if it's fair, to be quite honest. It's what it is, and then I just think that the state of our game is forever changing, and although with the revenue sharing coming up, it's supposed to streamline things, but we're right in the middle of change, and we either have to be able to pivot and deal with it and communicate what needs to happen, or we're gonna have to retire and go into a different profession. But I think it boils down to just communication. You either have it or you don't in the NIL space, and then you just have to communicate that to agents and parents and give them a choice. You got the non-negotiables, you got priorities. What are your priorities? Is it NIL? If it's NIL, I'm quick to say, go get the money. Put it away. Let it compound. Okay? If you want something different, you want a different experience, and we've been to 5 straight Final Fours. We know what that looks like and feels like and sounds like, and what goes into that. We're gonna give you a different experience. That's gonna cost you a few dollars.
Okay, thank you.
Thank y'all.